which committee is this bill going to? In Congress, you think? What? Transportation, right? This is going to the Transportation Committee. There are 4 types of committees. Right? There are standing, committees that are there all the time. Transportation one's, agriculture's one, Homeland Security's one. Regardless of who the president is, it is, what are you doing? You taping it?
Yeah. It's a lot easier than writing it. Is that alright?
Right, just make sure you're using it. The Racek experience has to be done live to really get the full effect.
Yeah.
You can't, if I see that on YouTube.
Only if you do something really dumb.
I'm gonna,
Only if you do something like worthy.
No. I will be very, very nice if you do that, okay? I'll break your arm. Right? I don't want to ever be on YouTube. The Racek experience must be done live, right, Cam? Live. No recordings. But, however, because you're crippled, I will do that. I will keep my cursing to a minimum tonight. Damn. All right. Standing Joint Committee. Standing Joint Committee, Conference Committee, which we'll get to, and a Select Committee. Okay. Standing Committee is one that's always there. A Joint Committee is between the House and the Senate. Okay. A Conference Committee we're going to talk about later, and a Select Committee is a special committee dealing with certain things. So, for example, the Committee on 9/11 was a Select Committee. Okay? The committee dealing with 9/11 was a Select Committee. Okay, so this one's going to go to the Transportation Committee. Now, once the committee gets it, they're going to turn around and immediately give it to the subcommittee. And the subcommittee's on, for example, highways. Okay? So the subcommittee on highways, right? This committee might have, 33 members. This committee has like 11. If it passes the committee, then it would go back to the full committee, back to the 33 for a vote. Okay. Now the committee has 4 options once they get the bill. The committee has these options, as do the subcommittees. Okay. Number 1, they could pass it. 2, they could vote it down. 3, they could change some or all of it. 4, they could do nothing. Now, if they do nothing, what happens to the bill?
It dies.
The bill dies. Okay? If they do nothing to the bill, then the bill dies. Now, why would members of Congress in one of these committees, why would they do nothing to a bill if they don't like it, rather than, say, vote it down?
Because they don't want to vote against it.
Okay. Because voting against it might make them look bad.
So it's always basically them planning for the next election?
I'm not going to say that, but yes. Okay? They're always, members of Congress, if you learn nothing else about Congress, these 2 things. 1, they're always focused on re-election. And the sort of the subset of that is that they want to take credit and avoid blame. Take credit and avoid blame. That's their deal. Okay? And so, avoiding blame would be the do-nothing option. Okay? Because what happens is, you leave no fingerprints. Right? You leave no fingerprints on it. It doesn't look like you did anything. Okay? Let me give you an example of this in real life. This probably is 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. There was a bill before Congress which was going to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. Credit card interest rates right now, as you know, are 19%, upwards of 20-something percent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Congress was going to pass a bill which would cap interest rates at 10%. Good thing for the American people, bad thing for the American people.
Good.
Don't just mumble something. Good, right?
Yeah,
it's
good.
good.
A lot more money.
That's good news, right?
Yeah.
That's good. it goes to the banking committee. The banking committee gets visits from the credit card companies, who basically say to them, if you pass this bill, then we are going to support somebody else. Now, they won't threaten them outright, but that's basically what they'll say. If you vote for this bill, if this bill passes, then we're going to, come in next election, we're going to support your opponent. Okay? And the member of Congress, of course, can't have that. And so what happens is the chairman of the committee just does nothing. He does not schedule any time to debate it. Well, if that happens, the bill just dies. The bill, it says it dies in committee. Yes, sir.
So what's like the time period they have to wait before it's actually dead?
Immediately. Because the chairman would just be like, I'm not scheduling any time on this. And then the bill's gone. Okay? So, let's take our $180 million bill. $180 million bill. And let's say Jerry Connolly is not on the Transportation Committee, but it goes to the Transportation Committee. Why does the Transportation Committee give a flying you-know-what about widening 95 to 8 lanes? Why does some dude from Florida care about that? Yeah.
Because it could help them get reelected if it's a good idea. And
Well, why does he
people
care?
like
His constituents live in Florida. He ain't getting re-elected because 95 is expanded to 8 lanes from here to Richmond.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't care about that. Right? What's he going to do? What do you think he's going to propose?
That it goes down all the way to Florida.
Well, he might say, you know what? We need to expand the highway between Orlando and Miami to 8 lanes. Wouldn't that be a good idea? And
Well, they don't really have traffic like that.
oh my God, I was down in Orlando this spring and they got some traffic down there. Not like here.
Yeah.
But does that matter? I mean, do you think the member of Congress says, yeah, we really don't have traffic like they do here, so forget the whole thing?
I mean,
That's not what they do.
logical. Like,
Okay, what they say is, you know what? I would really like to expand our highway system to 8 lanes here in Florida. And then some member out in Albuquerque says, you know what? I really need an airport. Named after me, of course. Right? If you go to West Virginia, okay, I told you about Robert Byrd last week. He was a senator from West Virginia. There are so many roads in West Virginia named after him that they had to give him numbers to keep them all straight. Okay? The point is, if you're traveling in West Virginia on these little roads, I don't know if you ever travel in West Virginia, sort of the back roads of West Virginia, and then suddenly it opens up to this beautiful 4-lane highway in the middle of West Virginia for 25 miles. And then it goes back down to 1 little lane. Well, what happened is you just passed through an area where Robert Byrd said, I'm going to increase that to 4 lanes. In the middle of nowhere. Right? Have you guys ever heard the term, the bridge to nowhere? I don't know if you've ever heard that term. That is where a member of Congress wanted to make a bridge between the mainland in Alaska and a small island of 125 people. And it was dubbed the Bridge to Nowhere. The bridge, of course, cost $275 million to build this bridge that was going to help 125 people. Okay? So what happens here, do you think? All 11 members of the Highway Committee say what? Do you think any of them say, it's a great idea for 95, but I don't need any road improvements? No. They all say, what a great idea. Let's expand ourselves to 15 lanes down in Northern California. And everyone goes, yes, I like that idea. And so what happens? All 11 guys, or at least maybe the majority of them, all 11 guys get their finger in the pie for their own district. Is everyone with me?
yeah.
So what happens to our $180 million bill over here? It's now,
300 million.
well, $315 million. Once it gets once it's through the subcommittee. Then it goes back to the full committee. Guess what? There's 22 other members. And what do you think they say?
They want a piece of pie.
They want a piece of the pie. And let's say not all 33, or all additional 22, But let's say there's an additional, now we're talking about like $429 million. That's just to get out of committee. Right? Little bill. Now, medium-sized bill. Right? Okay.